Just hours after Prime Minister Modi seemed to tell us all that China had not intruded into Indian territory, cartoonist Manjul was quick to share this cartoon on Instagram. India's 20 martyrs staring shocked at a TV screen in heaven, hearing the PM say there was no incursion. Let's look at a few more reactions to Modi's statement. Retired Lieutenant General Rameshwar Roy said, "I'm shattered to see India quietly accepting China changing the status of the LAC in eastern Ladakh. What a sad day for every soldier like me." Nirupama Menon Rao, former Foreign Secretary and former Ambassador to China, said government has taken a realistic view of constraints emanating from the asymmetry of power with China. That's a polite way of saying India has bowed to the new reality at the LAC because China is stronger. Strategic expert Brahma Chellani said, Modi's new statement suits Chinese propaganda as China ramps up infrastructure construction in the newly grabbed areas. It will use Modi's words to justify its encroachments and say that the Indian soldiers illegally entered Chinese territory. And the Chinese have also grabbed this clean chit. Chinese TV journalist and defense analyst Xin Shewei tweeted, "No outsider was inside Indian territory in Ladakh," says the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The statement illustrates that the incidents happened in Chinese territory. So, did Prime Minister Modi give the Chinese a get-out-of-jail-free card? The tent put up by the Chinese at Patrol Point 14 at Galwan Valley, was it on India's side of the LAC or not? By suggesting no intrusion, the PM seemed to imply it was on China's side, which made us the intruders. And that is exactly what their foreign ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said on the 18th. Right and wrong of this is very clear. This, meaning the killing of the Indian soldiers, happened on the Chinese side of the border and China is not to be blamed. A statement from the PMO on the 20th tried damage control, denouncing attempts to give mischievous interpretation to Modi's remarks. The statement also said the violence in Galwan arose because the Chinese side tried to erect structures across the LAC, refused to stop, and that our martyred soldiers stopped the Chinese and cleared the attempted transgression at the LAC. Backing the PM's statement, defense analyst Abhigyan Reg says, Modi could be buying time by effectively disowning the urgency of a military response. Retired Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh says the PM's emphasis on building infrastructure at the LAC will help the army in the future. But let's return to the issue of incursions. For instance, does the Prime Minister's statement, even after the PMO's clarification, ratify China's intrusion up till Finger 4 on the northern shore of Pangong Lake? Retired Lieutenant General H.S. Panag, who has even been a northern commander, claims that since late April, the Chinese army has controlled the entire area from Finger 8 to Finger 4, an intrusion of 8 kilometers west of the LAC, an area of about 35 to 40 square kilometers. Defense journalist Shiv Arur adds that the Chinese have built 62 new positions between Fingers 4 and 5 since the 10th of May, and that earth movers, bulldozers, have been seen where Finger 4 touches Pangong Lake. Since India perceives the LAC to be at Finger 8, surely all of this massive Chinese presence is on Indian territory. So when the PM says no incursions, does it mean that India has given up its claim on the area between Finger 4 and Finger 8? Every army man who has served in that area will confirm that India used to patrol right up to Finger 8, and that now the Indian army patrols are being stopped at Finger 4. And we seem to have meekly accepted this new status quo, this new reality, giving up 40 more square kilometers of our land. But ask for this clarity from the government, we get no answers. Instead, there's Godi media and the troll army calling you a traitor just for asking these legitimate questions. Speaking to the Quint, General VP Malik, India's army chief during the Kargil war, also says that China has intruded between finger 4 and finger 8 onto our territory. In a series of tweets, he has also exposed China's shifting goalpost strategy. Though India and China agreed in 1996 to urgently exchange maps indicating their respective perception of the LAC, General Malik asks why the Chinese have not done so. Why have they not shared their perception of the LAC on a map definitively? He says the absence of these maps led to the barbaric incident in Galwan. Deliberately not sharing a map of their perception of the LAC allows China to make fresh intrusions, push in further and create new realities along the LAC. In the absence of a demarcated LAC, for status quo to be maintained, there are 3 areas of physical control that both countries must respect. First, the area that's clearly with India. Second, the area that is clearly with China. And third, and most important, the area that both agree to be no man's land, which both sides may patrol but leave untouched. But as former diplomat TCA Rangachari, who's a China expert, explains, China has stopped respecting the sanctity of the no man's land by building roads, permanent posts, observation posts, barracks, placing heavy weapons in the grey areas at various points along the LAC, at Galwan Valley, Hot Springs, Pangong. So, the Chinese aim is to steadily push the perceived LAC and each time grab a few square kilometers of Indian territory. And with each such land grab, announce fresh claims. For example, the latest Chinese claim, which is now over all of the Galwan Valley, right up to the Galwan estuary where it meets the Shyok River. Unfortunately, ye jo India hai na, it has been slow in recognizing this strategy and countering it diplomatically or militarily. By giving them clean chits, by ignoring blatant intrusions, by backing off each time, we are playing into China's hands.